Hey there, I'm Lindsay Mercado, and I am so excited to have you joining me. Today, we're going to be talking about how to build your confidence as a Christian. Have you ever been in one of those situations where you just need a little extra confidence? Maybe you need to go and have a hard conversation with your boss, and you just know it's going to require some confidence to walk through that door. Or maybe you need to set boundaries with a friend, and you need some confidence to stand there and hold your ground. Or maybe you need some confidence to share your faith with someone that you've just been in a circle with, you've been around a lot, and you know that you need to share your faith and talk about what God's doing in your life, but you need some confidence to do that. I recently have just been thinking about confidence a lot more because I feel like mine's been lacking. I feel like I haven't been as confident as I used to be. As a kid growing up, I could talk to just about anybody. I had no problem talking to authority figures and advocating for myself, and loved meeting new people all the time. And as I've gotten older, or now in this season, I honestly just don't feel like I have as much confidence. And when I started to kind of dig into that and figure out what was going on, what I realized is that what I used to have was a lot of self-confidence. What I mean by that is that I was really confident in my abilities, in my achievements, in my appearance, in my knowledge. I felt like I could walk into a room and have something interesting to say, or stand in front of an authority figure and be somebody who has the right words or knows a thing or two or has experienced some stuff and just had that confidence walking in, that I was good enough to be in that room, that I could stand there in front of that person, that I could look the part. But what happened was a lot of those things that I was confident in myself, they started to be stripped away. Becoming a mom totally changed my appearance. And graduating from college, I no longer had a GPA that I could boast about and be proud of and be confident in. And then when I quit my job to be a stay-at-home mom, I no longer had these projects that I was working on or these opportunities that I was being given that I could be confident in. I felt like I just didn't have any kind of achievement to stand on anymore. And so my confidence just kind of dwindled away. But as a Christian, our confidence shouldn't be self-confidence. We don't need self-confidence. We need a confidence that is built to last. When the things that we are proud of, the things that we could have stood on our own, when those things fade, we still need a lasting confidence. And so we are going to talk about how to build that kind of confidence today. And we're going to talk about it as though we're building a house. So when you build a house, you start with the foundation. This is a really simple house. We start with the foundation. And the foundation of our confidence has to be God. In Jeremiah 17, verse 7, it says, "But blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him." So we're going to start with our confidence being in God. And what that means is knowing who God is, knowing that he's sovereign, knowing that he's good, that he's kind, that he's faithful, that he's all powerful, knowing who God is and that he's the foundation of our confidence. And then knowing who we are in him, knowing that we are chosen and anointed and called, and that he's given us purpose, that he has put us on this earth for such a time as this. None of those things start with us. God doesn't call us because of who we are. He calls us because he's called us. He hasn't chosen us because we're so great. He chose us because he chose us. He doesn't love us because we're so worthy of his love. He just loves us. It all starts with God pouring something out onto us. In Isaiah chapter 41, verse 10, it says, "So do not fear, for I am with you." This is God talking. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." God is doing all the work here. We're just told, don't be afraid. Have confidence because God will strengthen you. He will help you. He will uphold you with his righteous right hand. So the foundation of our confidence is going to be built on God, on who he is and who we are in him. And then we're going to build the walls of our house. So the 4 walls. The first is purpose. Why does it matter? If you need confidence to do something, you need a purpose to guide it. So if you feel like you need to share your faith with someone, why? Why does that matter? Because you have to have a purpose that's strong enough to get you into that door. Or maybe it's just that you need to be obedient to God. Maybe you need to step out and take a risk. Maybe you need to be bold with your faith. You need to identify the purpose, why it matters that you do that thing. Because it's going to be really hard to do a really hard thing if it doesn't really matter. So identify the purpose. The second wall we're going to build is preparation. We're going to prepare for the task at hand. And this doesn't show a lack of trust in God. It shows a good stewardship of the opportunities that he's given us, the things that he's called us to. It shows God that we care. Ephesians 6 talks about putting on the armor of God. And it doesn't say God's going to put armor on you. It says we put on the armor of God, that we do the preparation, that we wear the right equipment for the job, that we've done the homework. If you plan on talking to the next homeless person you see on the street corner, do a little preparation and have something to offer them instead of just having a conversation there. If we have the time to prepare, we should do some preparation and show the care that we have and the good stewardship that we're going to step forth with in the thing that God is calling us to do. So first, we identify the purpose, then we do the preparation. The third thing is we acknowledge our position, that it's not about us. A lot of times we get really nervous to step out and do something hard or have those conversations because we make it all about ourselves, but it's not. We are just the messenger. We're just the vessel or the delivery girl. We are not the main event. We don't have that big shining thing. We're just delivering it. This is not about us. And so when we stop worrying about how we're going to look, what if we mess up? What if we say the wrong thing? We're going to be a whole lot more confident to do the thing because it's not about us. Nobody cares about the messenger. They want the message. They want the letter. They want the delivery. They don't care who brings it. So our job is just to bring it, to be the hand that delivers it. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, it says, "He said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all the more gladly about my weakness, so that Christ's power may rest on me.'" When we stop thinking about ourselves, then our weaknesses can be used by God. When we stop worrying that we're going to fail, he takes those opportunities and does something that we could have never done on our own and gets the glory for it. So we can boast in our weakness because God's going to do something. God's power is going to show up in those moments. So we build the foundation that it's God. And then we identify the purpose. We do the preparation. We remember our position, that it's not about us. And then finally, we put in some practice. One of the best pieces of advice I have ever been given was take every opportunity to have a hard conversation because it'll make the next one easier. And I think that's so true in all circumstances of our life. Take every opportunity to do the hard thing, to take the risk, to step outside of your comfort zone, because it's going to make the next time that you do it a whole lot easier. If you want to get more confident sharing your faith, start sharing your faith. Or if you want to be more confident having hard conversations, start having those hard conversations. If you want to be more confident praying for people in public, start doing it. Start doing the hard things. And then it'll just get easier the more and more you do it. Sure, the first time might be horrible. Maybe it won't go so well, but then it's out of the way and you can move on to the next time. And the 100th time is going to be a whole lot better, but you're not going to hit that 100th time if you don't do it the first time. So start doing it. So now we have our foundation. We've built our 4 walls. Finally, the roof, the outcome of the house, it's God's. The outcome is God's. We worry so much about the results of something that we won't do the thing. But we have no control over the outcome. We have no control over the result. How many times have we not invited someone to church because what if they don't like it? What if it's not their style? What if they think it's weird? What if the pastor says something that weekend that we wish our friend wouldn't have heard? We worry so much about the outcome that we talk ourselves out of the thing that we need to do. But the outcome is God's. We have absolutely no control over it. And so we shouldn't be worried about it. The outcome is His. We just need to do our part. One of the things that has kind of helped me to have a little more confidence is that in my last job, I was required to do the orientation for executive level members of the company. And I remember the first time I sat down to host this orientation, I was so nervous. I remember sitting at my kitchen table and just praying, like, Lord, don't let me say something stupid. Like, please help me not to make a fool of myself in front of these executive level members of the company. Help me, like, to have the right answers to these questions they're going to ask. Help me to say the right things. Help me not to stumble over my slides. Help me to have the right information on the slides. Just so worried about how the conversation, how that orientation was going to go. And as I'm sitting there praying, I realized who I was sitting at my kitchen table talking to. That I was talking to God, the creator of the universe, all-powerful, almighty God, who created me, knows everything about me, can do anything. He's outside of time and space. That's who I'm sitting there talking to about how nervous I am to go talk to these people because of the level that they're at. And I realized just how crazy it is that I would fear having a conversation with man so much when I can have such an easy, sweet conversation with God. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16 says, "Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need." We can step into the throne room of God with confidence to get whatever we need. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 12 says, "In Him and through faith in Him, we may approach God with freedom and confidence." We can approach God with freedom and confidence. Step into His throne room, the God of the universe, and not fear. In freedom, in confidence. If that's the way we can step up in front of God, we can have confidence standing in front of man too. So as we build our confidence, we're going to start with God as the foundation, knowing who He is and who we are in Him because of Him. Then we're going to build our 4 walls, the things that we can do. We are going to realize the purpose. We're going to do the preparation. We're going to remember our position, that it's not about us. And we are going to put in the practice. And then we're going to leave the outcome in God's hands. We're going to trust that He's going to do whatever He wants with the outcome. That if it's successful, then He gets the glory. And if it totally fails, then it's His to use. But that is how we can build confidence as Christians. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes of your day with me. If you found this video encouraging or helpful, I would love for you to share it with a friend who might be encouraged by it as well. And if you want to connect, I am over on Instagram at Lindsay E. Mercado, or you can find me at my website, lindsaymercado.com. I'll see you there.